Coming up on Campus Connection.
Are you enrolled in a class this semester? There might be some money headed your way. I'm Christian Vasquez, and I have more on that story coming up.
Graduation rates at Long Beach State are at an all-time high.
And how to get free flu shots on campus.
All this and more coming right up. Welcome again to Campus Connection. I'm Sarah Cornelio.
And I'm KG Shiraki. We are happy you're tuning in today. We have a lot in store.
The COVID-19 pandemic brought financial struggles for many students, and with the return to in-person classes this semester, the daily expenses continue to add up. Reporter Christian Vasquez has more on how campus is aiding their students.
Parking permits, books, and school supplies are just some of the many expenses that students have been facing with the return to campus this fall, adding on to obstacles like unemployment and financial crisis.
I was lucky enough to get a job during the pandemic, so I think everyone had hardships in different ways. So.
Long Beach State President Jane Connolly notified students on October 7th that the school received additional federal funding from the Higher Education Emergency Relief Fund, or HERF, and payments were in the process of being evaluated to those who qualified.
I was really happy because I've been trying to get a job on campus for a long time, and I mean, this isn't a job, but it's money, so that's great.
The school received over $59 million from HERF and an additional $7 million as a qualifying minority-serving institution. Payments began arriving in bank accounts as early as Monday, October 15th. Students enrolled in e-refund or electronic refund system would get their money via direct deposit. Those without it will expect their money in a check in their mailboxes. According to the Division of Student Affairs, payments are eligible to students enrolled in at least one unit this fall semester. Amounts vary based on student income, with payments up to $2,000.
I think our campus really believes in shared governance. We made sure that we had students as a part of the process, so that their voice was at the table as decisions were being made.
According to Claus, students that have yet to receive their payments should expect them in the mail by Monday, November 1st. If you're not enrolled this fall, there is one more payment scheduled to be dispersed in the spring semester. Christian Vasquez, Campus Connection.
Long Beach State received a $10 million grant to recruit and train minority students to join the public workforce. The school is one of 10 schools in the nation to get this grant. The money will be used to create a program that will develop culturally relevant public health information technology. Long Beach State will lead the program, which will offer paid internships and in-demand job placements for minority students.
The Long Beach State Institute for Innovation and Entrepreneurship hosted their 4th annual Behind the Screens virtual symposium earlier this week.
Reporter Natalie Lopez has the details on this year's theme and how students benefited from it.
Behind the Screens is an annual fall virtual symposium that explores the dark side of technology, and this year's theme is discriminatory algorithms. Created by Dr. Utley, whose passion is to raise awareness about the dark side of technology, she created this event to educate students on the effects of it.
But I think that the more citizens start to advocate, the more on a campus level, on a city level, like on a state level, that we can start to decide, hey, we're moving too fast with this technology. Let's slow down, let's ask questions, and let's implement more accountability.
Believe it or not, discriminatory algorithms are all around us. We just are not aware of them. The Behind the Screens event had guest speakers to teach students what to look for and how to be proactive against them.
Dr. Ruha Benjamin, an African American Studies professor at Princeton, explains how science and technology shape the social world we live in by creating biases.
And one of the challenges we face is how to meaningfully differentiate technologies that are being used to differentiate us. And so part of what has grown out of this work that I discuss in both those books is the idea of the new Jim Code, innovation that enables social containment. And so you'll notice, for those of you familiar with Michelle Alexander's work, in which she's tracing the relationship between what she calls the new Jim Crow and the Jim Crow era.
Vincent Velasquez, a CSULB cultural anthropology major, shares what he liked from the event and what he learned from it.
It'll always be there. I mean, inequality will always be there. And it's reached that point to like that technological aspect.
Dr. Utley shares how next year's Behind the Screens theme will be chosen.
Well, actually, the crowd decides. So every year I give a survey at the end of Behind the Screens, and I have a handful of options of topics and then a catch-all, like what would you like to see us do?
This is Natalie Lopez reporting for Campus Connection.
It's that time of year. Flu season is approaching, and what better way to protect yourself from getting sick than getting the flu shot? Long Beach State Student Health Services is offering free flu shots on campus to students, faculty, and staff. In order to get a flu shot, all you have to do is walk in and fill out a form while you wait in line. No appointments are necessary. Students find it convenient that there are flu vaccination clinics on campus and think it is more important to get vaccinated.
In general, to help each other out, it's very much like I got it mostly not only to keep myself safe, but to keep other people safe. I'm just trying to do my part.
The flu season begins in October and can last as late as May. According to the CDC, the flu vaccination reduces the risk of getting the flu by 40 to 60%. For more dates and times on when to get your flu shot, you can go to the CSUOB Student Health Services website.
California State University has released an article saying that their graduation initiative has led to record highs in academic achievement. Reporter Alexis Nakahiro tells us more.
Get ready to move your tassels to the left and throw your caps in the air because graduation rates are increasing. The Cal State University's graduation initiative first launched in 2015, and since then, the graduation rates for first-time four-year students and first-time two-year transfer students have increased by over 10%. In fact, the CSU campuses has conferred over 25,000 degrees since the initiative was first put in place. Along with the CSU's graduation initiative, Long Beach also launched their own plan that included steps like offering early start courses in the summer and the Beach Pledge program. This huge success is the work of many people.
I think it's a huge teamwork by faculty, staff, and also students are involved in this journey. Is that they're not outside, they're also part of the team, our leadership in student government and others.
Vice Provost Sathya Nathan says that many of Long Beach's students graduate within 5 years. One reason that students take an extra year is because of a change in their plan. About 50% of students switch majors, but Cal State Long Beach ensures that whichever major you switch to, resources are available for students.
We work hard to ensure that if students switch major, they can still graduate in a fashion that doesn't accumulate debt unnecessarily.
CSULB has even encouraged its students to keep going through this unprecedented times of the pandemic.
Long Beach was really communicative when the pandemic started and when classes started to go online. I remember getting emails saying, don't give up, like you got this. So really supportive in that sense. And there's a lot of resources on campus too to make sure that students feel like they're ready to graduate.
I was worried that because of COVID, a lot of people would drop out or just get unmotivated because I found myself going into a rut where nothing really felt like I was in college anymore, and I just turn on the computer and kind of just dissociate. So it's really exciting to actually hear that people continued and persevered through that, really built that resilience.
However, there still remains a gap between underprivileged minority students and their peers. So what can be done to increase the graduation rates for these students?
So our goal is to ensure that we provide access to these students who otherwise would not have a pathway to higher education.
Long Beach ranks third of the CSUs in underrepresented minority students with a graduation rate of 73%. The graduation initiative has been so successful that the CSU system expects to see a continuing increase in graduation rates for future Cal State students. I'm Alexis Nakahiro, Campus Connection.
Coming up next on Campus Connection.
The Long Beach women's soccer team goes up against Cal Poly.
Speed dating for friends on campus. And Dia de los Muertos celebrations in Long Beach.
These stories and more coming right after this break.
This is the story of a boy who didn't talk for a long time. The boy liked things to always be the same. Any changes would scare and upset him. The unknown was an unfriendly place. The boy was very sensitive to lights and sounds. So he built secret hiding places where they couldn't get in. The boy didn't like looking people in the eye. He wasn't trying to be mean, it just made him feel uncomfortable. Sometimes he'll flap his arms again and again.
One day, I found out I have something called autism. My family got me help. Slowly, I found my voice and learned all the ways I could live with it better.
Early intervention can make a lifetime of difference. Learn the signs at autismspeaks.org.
Welcome back to Campus Connection.
Celebrations for Day of the Dead are underway. Our reporter Berenice Montoya went out to see how people are celebrating.
That's right. Although Hispanic Heritage Month is over, Hispanic traditions continue all year long, Dia de los Muertos being the most recent. Dia de los Muertos, or Day of the Dead, is a 2-day celebration of life and death, where it is believed that those who have passed away come back to visit for the day. The family decorates altars with what was their favorite food and drinks when alive. Everyone comes together to remember their departed loved ones with food, music, and of course, lots and lots of dancing.
It's a nice way for us as a culture, as Hispanic, Latino people, to remember our past ones that have passed away and have done amazing things for our culture.
There are 2 separate days to remember their departed children and adults. All Saints' Day is on November 1st and All Souls' Day on November 2nd, but the celebrations have been going on all week. Their tradition first started in Mexico and has now made its way to the U.S. and parts of Latin America. To celebrate, they wear flower crowns, paint their faces, gather marigolds, and of course, eat traditional pan de muerto, which I brought for you guys.
It really is such a beautiful tradition I've celebrated in my whole life.
Wow, it looks delicious.
It is very delicious and it smells amazing.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, no problem.
Breaking a 3-game winning streak, the women's soccer team struggled to get the win against Cal Poly Slow on Thursday night. Reporter Arlene Guerrero has more about the 1-0 loss for Beach.
Long Beach State women's soccer hosts Cal Poly in the final week of the regular season in the George Allen Field as they compete for a spot in the Big West standings.
With a spot on the line for the Big West standings, Beach played at home after a 3-game road trip. Beach was on a 3-game winning streak, but Cal Poly broke their streak on Thursday night at the George Allen Field. The Mustangs came out ready as Olivia Ortiz scored their first goal at the 9th minute into the game and gave Beach a 1-0 loss.
The team we played is on a roll.
With the win from Thursday night's game, Cal Poly extended their streak to 5 straight. Goalkeeper for Beach, Zora Standifer, made a save as early as in the 2nd minute of the game when Cal Poly attempted their first goal. The Mustangs came right back into the Beach's net and scored the goal of the night.
I have pressure on myself every single game. I don't think there's any difference. I just don't want the ball in the back of my net. That's like my only job to do. So.
Standifer had a total of 13 saves for the night and was under pressure to get that #1 spot for herself and the team.
Yeah, this was a big stake. This was for the #1 spot. But if it was for last place, to get in last place, I think I would have pushed myself even harder or just as hard.
Kaylee Ramirez attempted the first shot for Beach in the 17th minute of the game, but unfortunately goalkeeper for the Mustangs, Mackenzie Samuel, made the save. Both teams came out in the second half of the game physical as they played 45 minutes of attempted shots and multiple saves.
I thought we played really well. I thought we competed really well. I thought we had plenty of chances to try to get ourselves back into the game, but we just couldn't find one.
The team lost against Santa Barbara, officially ending their season.
Disneyland's new Magic Key passes are selling out quickly. The most expensive Dream Key pass is now completely sold out, leaving guests with options that don't include parking. The new passes were released in late August, and adult ticket prices for 1 park per day can be as expensive as $160. Long Beach State has brought back school Disneyland products. Sweatshirts, stickers, and hats can be purchased at the 49er shops or online at 49ershops.net.
Freshmen, transfers, and even juniors at Cal State Long Beach that are returning back to in-person classes are hit with a new struggle: making friends.
Montserrat Ramirez figures out how they are adjusting and what the school has done to help out.
After nearly 2 years being solely virtual, Cal State Long Beach students are now returning back to campus and adjusting to socializing again in person. Most students are facing new fears and emotions and taking the initiative of making friends.
Weird sometimes just because it's like such a different environment that I'm not like fully used to yet. And I think part of that's just that I haven't been here a very long time and it takes getting used to, but sometimes it just feels really rough occasionally. But
Cal State Long Beach's ASI is trying to help ease these anxieties by offering students a fun and new way to potentially meet your next best friend. You may have heard of speed dating, but have you heard of speed friending? Beach Pride Events Coordinator Hannah Pitico explains the importance of speed friending in connecting students through games and more.
This event's really important so that, students have that opportunity to meet people, connect with people, build friendships, whether, it's going to be like a long-term friendship and they want to like continue chatting after the event, or even if it's just like a one-off event where you want to socialize and have some fun and, share a little bit about yourself.
After a long evening of getting to know each other with questions and games, people are eager to continue their new connections.
I was actually pretty happy to get to know people and hopefully, hang out with them afterwards so that I can have stronger bonds over here in the Long Beach area.
Even more encouraging to see is the international students step out of their social comfort zone.
Well, we are far away from home, right? So we have left our life behind, and it's quite lonely here. And all the classes are online. We don't meet anybody here. So I thought it would be a good way to interact with new people and get to know them.
Where we connect. Hopefully we can able to hang out with different people we met here. We can able to get more friends from them.
Don't miss your chance to meet your next BFF and join Beach Pride in their continuation of speed friending November 29th from 6 to 8 p.m. at the USU ballrooms. Montserrat Ramirez, Campus Connection.
Thank you for tuning in today. I'm Katie Shiraki.
And I'm Sarah Cornelio. Join us next time on Campus Connection.